We just knew what we had to do for going down that finishing stretch of the season. We knew we didn't want to go out like that, so we definitely wanted to win out.
Like almost like angry Clemson. Will that carry into the offseason in that building, do you think?
I think it definitely will. I mean, there's nothing to be complacent about because we're now underdogs. Nobody really respects us anymore, regardless of what we need to go out there and do. So I think you're definitely going to have the right mindset going into this winter training that they're having in the spring, and they're going to come in with a different mindset this year.
Awesome. Who's the guy we should be watching for next year? Who are you expecting to take that next step at Clemson?
I would say countless guys there. There's a lot of young guys there. That's really good. Obviously on the D-line, you got guys like Devontae K-Bart, Peter Woods, and T.J. Parker, and those young guys on the cornerback end. You got Sheldon Lewis, and you got Xavier Thomas. Those are some really good players that y'all should definitely keep an eye on.
You mentioned Devontae first. What is it about Devontae that stands out?
Just, I mean, if you first of all, he's a gigantic guy. He can just get the job done in regards to his athletic ability and what he can do. Broken second down, and he's growing as a pass rusher as well. So you definitely got a guy right there who can really get the job done.
Now you mentioned Peter Woods as well. What did you see from him early on in his career when he first got there?
Well, he's just a guy who doesn't look like a freshman. I mean, you see him come in the spring. He come there and look like he's been playing in college for a good amount of time. He could have came out this year if he wanted to. I mean, that's a really talented guy. And same thing with T.J. Parker. Those guys are really well. And you see, they just don't look like typical freshmen at all.
And who was the most violent player you saw in a game this year? Who that you went up against?
Most violent player. What do you mean by violent exactly?
Like tough, the most physical, like.
He's in the North Carolina back. I don't remember his name. North Carolina back was pretty good. He was really physical player.
You probably answered this question already, but you were in college for probably longer than the average.
Yeah.
How do you think that helps you, get ready for the next level? Because you're not some kid anymore. You're a man.
Yes, sir. 100%. That's what I was harping on earlier, just about what I've been through and developed over that time. After my third year in 2020, just developing those different habits of having to bounce back from facing some real adversity and really having to develop those habits as becoming a professional athlete, learning how to take care of my body, learning how to eat like a pro. And those type of things I developed over time, which is why I'm glad I went through what I did, just because I wasn't ready at the time when my third year did come around. So I'm glad it went the way it did, so now I'm really prepared to go to the next level.
Xavier, first off, congrats on making you, man. When you look at, throughout the week, when you're watching film of offensive tackles, offensive line, what are you looking for in their game?
Really just how they play different type of moves and how their setups are and how their vertical sets are. If they drop 2 yards or they drop three set vertical sets. It really just depends on the tackle and how patient they are in regards to what move I'll give them and what I want to bring to the table in the beginning.
Have you met with the Bengals also?
I have.
Thank you.
Hey, Xavier, I want to ask you about one of your linebackers at Clemson, Wade Woodaz. What type of growth and development have you seen from him since he got on campus? What do you expect from him this year?
It's going to be a big year for him as well. He's putting on the right amount of weight because he was a skinnier guy coming in, and obviously he's been in the linebacker position. He's been putting weight on. He's been working his tail off, and that's one talented player. So I definitely expect a big year for him.
Is there a player in the NFL with maybe your size or body style that you've kind of looked to take things from, or and maybe mold part of your game after?
Definitely different guys. I mean, one of my best friends, Michael Parsons, I watch him all the time. I have the same ability as him in regards to what I can do, so I definitely watch him and study him a lot.
What do you feel like are your strengths, coming into the NFL?
Obviously, rushing the passer on third down and things like that, but I plan on putting a lot of things on display tomorrow to show teams that I can really play outside linebacker in regards to playing in space and really showing my athletic ability so I can be using that type of way.
A lot of times, when you go on job interviews, there's always one thing you want to stress. There's one thing that you want to stress that makes you stand out from anybody. Is there anything, whether it's in the physical drills or the interviews, that you're wanting to stress about what makes you different about as a certain player?
Yeah, really just my versatility as a player. There's a lot of different things that I can do on the defense, and whatever they need me to do, I could do. Not just rushing the passer. Obviously, that's my number one thing is rushing the passer, but I can play in space. I can do a lot of different things that they need me to do on the field. In regards to guarding the running back man-to-man, guarding the tight end man-to-man, dropping in any zones they want me to drop in. I have the ability to do all of that.
How challenging was the preparation for this event, both mentally and physically?
It's definitely a challenge, but it's definitely a blessing. Very blessed to be here and very excited to put my abilities on display.
What has been the feedback so far? I know you said you met with some teams. What teams you met with, and what have they been saying?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely just want to see me run out here tomorrow and really see what I can do. Because people know I'm fast, but they don't know how fast I'm on display tomorrow. And it's a very exciting thing to do. I mean, but you hear the same type of feedback from teams in regards to how they want to use it. Some teams got different schemes, 4-3s, 3-4s, and those type of things. So it's different feedback sometimes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things that came out as a story was your desire to play in the last game, that last bowl game. Was that something that was brought up during the interviews, and what did teams think of that?
They haven't brought it up to me, but definitely that's just always been a thing with me to always emphasize finishing. I always want to finish whatever I do.
What do you want to run? Do you have a number in mind?
It's going to be a fast number. It's going to be a fast number? It's going to be a very fast number.
Xavier, what do you want NFL teams to know about you as a person off the field?
Really good. I'm just a guy of perseverance. Just perseverance and resilience in regards to whatever that comes my way. And I'm ready for anything that comes my way.
I know it's a little bit different, but Myles Garrett's a guy that is a little bit different than you physically. But what are you able to watch from his game and have you to take away to sort of model and sort of mold your game all the time?
It's really just the different pass rush moves that you see him do. I mean, any type of pass rusher that any league, like Max Robbie, all those top guys that you want to learn from and take different moves from. And it's definitely just special guys that you want to try to adapt those type of moves that work on the next level.
What would it mean to be in the same position group as a guy like him in the NFL or some other veteran guy like that to be able to learn from each and every day?
It would mean a lot. I mean, being with any type of special pass rusher like that in the league would mean a lot. Just soaking up those different tips and advice from them and learning from those different aspects of the way they play the game and how they prepare for games and how they study tackles, just those type of things you definitely want to soak up from.
Have you met the Browns at all? The Browns?
I have.
I'm curious, you were talking earlier about different schemes, different teams, and how they might use you. What kind of feedback have you heard from teams about how they maybe would like, or maybe what they'd like to see from you or where to use you?
Yeah, obviously you got different teams that run the 3-4, the outside back position that I would play.
Right.
So I definitely will play that in their scheme. And in the 4-3, some people will use me as an edge rusher and then use me as a Sam. First and second down, those type of things. So,
are you comfortable in one or the other? You like both? I mean, like, I know you guys.
I prefer outside linebacker.
You like to stand up?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. What about that? Do you like? Maybe?
Just being able to play in space and not limiting me just to obviously you put your hand up there, you limit yourself just to play on one side of the field. But I like to play in spaces so I can be able to run sideline to sideline.
You can drop and cover a little bit too.
100%.
Yeah, nice.
Xavier, you got to play with Balen Spector for a while at Clemson. I get to cover the Bills. What has it been like to watch him kind of flourish in the last season with the team? He got a lot of playing time.
Yeah, it's definitely it's fun to watch him. Obviously, I played, like you said, I played with him for about 4 years of my career, and watching him grow as a player, just from college to the NFL now, it's very exciting to see. So I'm very happy for him.
You have quite a few Clemson guys in the NFL. Do you touch base with any of these guys ahead of a big week like this?
Yes, sir, of course. Yes, ma'am, of course. Always want to just get different advice from them in regards to what this week is going to bring. Just tell you some days are longer than others, and you just want to keep the right headspace because it's a blessing to be here. So, and just get different advice in regards to interviews and things like that.
What do you feel like separates you from others in this draft class with your skill set that you can provide?
Just my versatility as a player. There's countless different things that I can do outside of just rushing the passer. Obviously, that's my specialty, but my athletic ability allows me to be a very versatile player.
And what would it mean to be a part of a defensive line like the Bills have, Von Miller and Oliver, and name a couple guys? That
would mean a lot. I mean, just going into those guys, like I said earlier, in regards to going to any type of top pass rushes, in regards to those vets, you just want to soak up all that you can while they're here. Obviously, he's one of the greatest, so definitely want to soak up as much as you can from him before he decides to hang up the cleats.
Appreciate it.
You kind of played at an interesting time in college football, just given when you came in and what's changed in the sport since you've now left the sport. What do you think about all this stuff with NIL right now, direction it's going? How difficult was that, I guess, added to your plate? I'm sure it was also a blessing in some sense, but I'm just kind of curious to get your thoughts on that since you saw kind of all the changes that's happened just being at Clemson like the last 5 years.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously when I came in, it was a much different time in regards to 2018, my first 3 years, and none of that existed. Everything was illegal in regards to being able to make money off your name. And then the back end of my collegiate career, the last 3 years, he was obviously allowed to make it. So it really didn't bother me that much because I was actually happy for players. I was still building my career back up. Back after that, when they made it legal to NIL and things like that. So I didn't really have much of it just because I was building myself back up during that time. So it was definitely a happy feeling for the other players who was allowed to make money off their name. I feel like it's very much deserved.